What a great surprise. I didn't know until about 5 or 10 minutes ago when we pulled up. So you did a great job with the surprise. So a huge thank you to the Raceway. It's great to be back in my home state. Great to be back at this track where I got my one and only road course win. The journey here was tough, but as a team back in the day, we could test a lot. We were really committed to figuring this place out and turned it around, had some decent results. And then Marcus Ambrose gave me that one amazing gift going up to turn one and shut his car off, and here I am. So, wild day, remember it very vividly. Our daughter was born that following week, our oldest daughter at Genevieve. So my time here in that particular race win and thinking about that now, just kind of on the walk over here, great surprise for today.
Awesome. Now the 30th member of the Sonoma Raceway Wall of Fame, what advice would you give to up-and-coming drivers hoping to build a legacy like yours, both on and off the track?
Gosh, as you say that, I just remembered the first asphalt car I drove was here in 91 or 92. I came here for skip barber school. I started racing off-road buggies, and the team owner suggested that I come here and do the driving school. And so I drove a Formula Ford. Didn't really know how to have that apply to the off-road racing I was doing then, or did I know it turned into having a career on the asphalt. But thinking about that kid here, I just showed up with great excitement and interest and dedication to the sport. And so for young kids coming along, you could go to a driving school and just never know where it's going to go. So chase the passion and stay after it.
If you have a question for Jimmy, we have microphones on either side. Jimmy, we saw you taking some laps earlier. How'd it feel to be back out there? Posted some pretty good times out there?
Yeah, it's fun to give rides. We have a lot of partners here, friends, and to give them an e-ticket ride around here. It's a lot of fun.
That.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jordan?
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. Do you remember the moment with Marcos when he ran out of fuel, when he kind of handed you the win, and what kind of went through your mind at that moment?
Yeah, we were all trying to save fuel, and the rules, I think, created more of a consequence if you didn't keep the pace car speed. And we were diligent trying to push him. We knew he was tight on gas, as were we, but just trying to keep pressure on him. And when I saw the gap opening to the pace car, I knew there was time to pounce. I didn't expect him to have the car off and not get it started. So that was a big surprise. We had decent pace. We led some laps. Marcus was just a little bit better, and then with that gift, put us in a good spot. But I'll never forget, on the restart, I had Robbie Gordon next to me, and I thought, man, there's no telling how this is going to end. Thankfully, it stayed clean, and I got it back around.
There's been a lot of talk about SVG, what he's been able to do on road courses, the best, of all time, stock cars, that kind of thing. From your perspective, someone who raced against Gordon, who brought Jeff, not Robbie, at least counts too, but what do you see from SVG, and how would you assess where he's at compared to some others?
Yeah, his understanding of the car and how to position the car, clearly braking is something that he is exceptional at, but it's not just deep braking. It's the way you manage the pedals, how you don't oversaturate the front tires and can use the front tires to turn the car into the corner and carry speed. He makes it look so effortless and carries so much more speed than other cars to the center of the turn. It's just really impressive, and he has such a great feel for it. And then to watch he and Zilich yesterday duke it out, and what we saw in Chicago, SVG is really impressive. But to see a young driver come along and duke it out with him at this level is quite impressive as well.
Non-Sonoma question, if you will, the ongoing lawsuit between 2311 and Front Row NASCAR. Haven't really heard much from your perspective on that. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on this kind of unfolds and where you stand on everything.
We'll just sit back, watching it all play out as well, learning a lot about the legal process and the amount of injunctions and then appeals that can take place. It's a big game of chess, a lot of strategy that goes into it all. So just sitting back and observing.
Is there an outcome you're looking for in a game?
I would love to see a settlement of some kind. I don't think that getting into a knockdown, drag out lawsuit in court is good for anybody.
Thank you.
Yep.
Zach?
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Jimmy, first of all, congratulations on the honor here.
Thank you.
Today you also have Eric and John Hunter going head-to-head in the in-season challenge. What have you seen come from this tournament so far, and having both cars at this stage with still a chance with drivers to win $1 million here? What have you seen from this and the fun that the drivers have had along with it?
That's been it. I mean, it's been a great conversation internally, externally. You can only imagine the taunting that's going on in our four walls at the shop. I've reminded them that, yeah, there's $1 million on the line here, but if we get a car in the playoffs, there's multiples on the line, so let's not do anything silly. But it's just been good for everyone to have this bracket, to have the conversations around it. I think it's added a layer that the summer stretch can use.
Shane also said something yesterday that caught my ear in terms of after the drivers' meeting in Chicago on Sunday, he said that Kyle Busch talked to him about the battle that Shane and Connor had on Saturday, and him not leaving Connor any room off of turn one. Basically, that there's an expectation in NASCAR road course racing to leave that room on exit, whereas he said anywhere else that move isn't even talked about. That's just a textbook pass. How do you perceive kind of just the road course etiquette and how different it might be here as opposed to racing IMSA or in other forms of racing?
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of it in that, or through that lens. Certainly Formula One, they're very specific about who owns the corner and who has the corner at the apex. There are elements on corner exit where, let's smoke this, sorry.
Blow that.
Okay, that one's on fire. That scenario in corner exit I hadn't thought about, but I could see with his road course racing experience and not living in the world of spotters that on corner exit, if you don't see him at your door, that it's your area, your corner. I'm not sure if that's how it really played out. I didn't follow the dialogue after that, but I could see that scenario taking place. Yep.
Rod Gomez, NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Jimmy, I know the track has changed a little since you've been on it, but what kind of advice have you been able to give to Eric and John Hunter as they approach this track and what you've learned from your racing career?
Yeah, even though it's been repaved, the track still has a lot of wear characteristics for the tires, and tire fall off is big, and managing your tires. So that's really the world that we lived in, or I lived in all the years that I raced here. Maybe the first year or so, I guess it's only been a year. I know we came here thinking 4-drive would be much more available, and it's not. It really reminds us of the old racetrack.
Noah Reed, Manteca Bulletin. Jimmy, yesterday Eric Jones had the opportunity to kind of flip roles and play the role of a spotter for Will Rogers, who's his normal spotter. I'm just curious, what was the conversation with Eric like leading into that, and what was your role, if any, in that?
I didn't have much of a role, but I've seen Eric in the last 12 to 16 months just have a big shift in enjoying himself more and more. I think getting married and knowing that he's going to be a father, there's certainly elements there that shift someone's perspective. That could be some of it, but in general, I think our cars are running better. He and Will have a great relationship, and some maturity and such. Eric's trying to enjoy all the opportunities and moments that come along. And he was genuinely excited yesterday to flip roles with Will.
In the back.
Jimmy, I learned yesterday from Eric himself the difference between a main and a secondary spotter. Are you doing any spotting at all this weekend yourself? And what's it like to have the view from the spotter stand on a road?
I've spotted once, and I'm not spotting here. I was fired. I was one and done. My brother was racing in the Arctic Series at Michigan, and I went up to spot for him, and this was just in practice. But he was in front of Frank Kimmel, and that's when Frank was on fire and winning everything. And I was so intrigued watching my brother and corner speed that Frank caught my brother, got inside of him, and passed him, and I never said a word. And I took tongue lashing from my brother about not spotting. So I just took the headset off, handed it to my dad, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But the primary spotter can see a lot here. I think I maybe had 2. We had one on the hill, and then we try to pick on pit road in a way where Chad could spot me to turn 11, and we could get away with 2 here, but I know others run more.
Wall of Fame member for your racing prowess, not your spotting prowess.
Correct. We all have strengths and weaknesses.
Jenny?
Hey Jimmy, you were saying to Jordan how you don't like these drawn out legal fights. I think you guys are doing court tomorrow in your own legal fight. What's going on there?
We're going through the process. Clearly didn't want to be in this position or expect to, but we're going through the process and we'll see how tomorrow goes.
You guys think that you are in the right on this one?
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
They think,
Hate to be in this position, but we definitely believe we're in the right.
do you have a plan B if the judge doesn't agree?
I'm not sure there is a plan B. Yeah,
Well, good luck then.
thank you.
Jimmy, beyond racing, you've made a tremendous impact in the Jimmie Johnson Foundation. Any recent initiatives or stories from those efforts you'd like to share?
We've been out of the country for a couple of years, as most know. Our foundation is still been fundraising, and we've still stayed focused on the three areas in Southern California, Oklahoma, and also in North Carolina. It's all been around children's education, K through 12. And so with us being maybe a little less active, there's still been great fundraising, but we're on our way back. Kids are going to go back to school here in the States starting the next school semester. It's crazy to believe we'll have a 9th grader and a 6th grader. So it's been a big awakening moment, knowing that our baby's going to go to high school. But with that being said, we have plans for the Jimmie Johnson Foundation at Quail Hall Golf Club in September, and we'll get back into our routine of our annual golf tournament, and then other fundraising that'll take place and work its way into events, racetracks and stuff far and wide. So public education's been a big focus for us and will continue to be.
Jimmy, on behalf of Sonoma Raceway and Speedway Motorsports, congratulations. Thanks for being with
Thank
us
you.
today.
Appreciate it.